I'm Paul Benefield, and you're watching Average Joe Sports Talk.
Coach, they say defense wins championships, and yours proved that here tonight. How proud are you of these guys?
Well, I'm just, it's hard to express words. God gets all the glory. Excuse me. This team is real special, and they fought a lot of hard luck this year, and we're as proud of them as I can be.
Emotional.
I am. I'm getting old. I'm getting emotional. Sorry.
Third state title in school history. Can you put into words?
I can't. It's just a awesome community, awesome kids, and I got a great coaching staff.
All right, everybody, welcome into Breakfast with Benefield. This is our Week 1 breakdown. Coach went on the road last night and had a very tough opponent in Geraldine. Actually come out with a big win, 28-0. Everybody loves to talk about offense, but last night, Coach, your defense showed out and shut out a very good football team. You talk about that a little bit.
Well, I thought they played really physical, and Geraldine's a physical team, and Coach Walter's going to do a great job with them and their offensive line. It's very physical in defense, and they pretty much do things to stop us every year and make it tough on us, which is what they're paid to do. It wasn't the score didn't indicate how tough a game it was. We missed a couple opportunities there, and I think I had a guy run into a referee or something one time there. That kind of thing happens. Just proud to get a win. Our kids improved from our jamboree, and I think if we can keep them healthy, we can continue to improve. But we got to develop some depth, to beat the good teams. And really, not to beat the good teams, to beat the teams when you get into December or November, if you're lucky enough, fortunate enough to make that. Because we beat a good team last night.
Absolutely.
Really good team.
Now, offensively, Coach, you guys actually moved the ball, pretty steadily throughout the game, and you had some hiccups here and there. But talk about your offense for a little bit.
We dropped a handoff. Our offense just don't have the luxury of being able to make up things like that. We didn't have just a lot of penalties, and then the ones we did have, I don't know if they were right or not, but anyway, a pretty clean game, both teams, as far as penalties. Got to finish our runs off a little better. Got to connect on when we don't throw it a lot, but when we do, we got to make that catch. And thought Geraldine did a great job of catching the ball last night. A couple of times they dropped it, but they didn't drop many, and they made a couple of really good catches.
Makes going to the grocery store a lot easier when you're 5 miles apart.
That's right.
Run into somebody. Right. And for that play last night, a lot of people, I know a lot of fans were upset, but talk about that. The referee's actually considered part of the field.
They
at
are.
That point, aren't
they are, but they're trained in positions where they're, that's not really supposed to happen. You can't have it sometimes right over the middle of the field. I mean, right behind the lineman, because they got to stay in, you'll see them sometimes on college or even high school too. They'll throw a crossing route and they have to duck, and it kind of blurs the receiver. But that's just, it happens sometimes.
Talk about,
Not supposed to happen, but it happens.
Talk about keeping your focus after such a big win in a rivalry game like that, going into this next week and preparing for section. How you got to maintain focus?
Well, number one, it's our first region game, and that's really important to us. And it's another neighbor, 6 miles this direction, and that, it shouldn't be no problems. I always tell the kids, hey, it's Friday night, and you work all year long to really show your stuff on Friday nights, and that's when you play the game. So why take a Friday night off? Go out there with the intentions of every game being a Super Bowl, and let your little light shine.
That's right. And your section is you're going to be your opening region game, and you talk about their team. And
I don't know a lot about them this year. Got a new coach. Coach Hammond is a new coach over there, so we'll have one film on them. We'll get to see a little bit what they're about. I'm sure he's doing a good job with them, and you on the road is always just a few distractions and things. And like you said, we're going to be beat up. I had a couple kids had cramps last night, mine being one of them.
Notice y'all had the mustard broke out.
Yeah, didn't work though. Early cramps. I don't know what the deal there, but had some real warriors last night though that play.
Yes.
Malachi Mize, after I watched the film, he is a high school football player, man, and a good one, and he played really well. Just had to mention his name there. He's really played well. He's kind of a guy that don't get mentioned a lot because he don't run the ball a lot. But he is a steady blocker, steady tackler, and just a good football player.
I love watching him. When he makes a play, he actually leans over and helps the guy up.
Yes.
He's a class act.
He sure is.
Across the board.
Super young man, on and off the field.
I love it. Coach, between the Mars Hill game and this game, what's some of the things you've seen that you've improved on? Some of the things you may need to work on with that?
A lot of times, us coaches want to look at a kid, and that wasn't about my 400th game last night. So I learned some things, dumb as I am, over the years. And I think a lot of times we look at a certain kid, or people look at somebody, oh, he'd make a good this or a good that. And sometimes kids just can't play where we want them to play. They have to, you have to find. In other words, I tell them all the time, just because you can't play linebacker don't mean you're not a good football player. It just means you're seeing too much. And a lot of kids just can't focus on what we tell them to focus on. And I've had it happen to me several times over the last 35 years that some kid that's a really good player, and he looks like a linebacker. He's 6'1", 215. You want him to play linebacker, he can't. He just sees too much. And then when you put his hand back on the ground, I had a boy here back 12, 13 years ago that was one of the best players I ever had. I was trying to play him at linebacker, but when I put him at nose guard, then he dominated the game.
Changer.
Nose guard, yeah.
That's it. We'll be next Friday night at Section, Alabama, correct, Coach?
That's right.
We'll be ready to roll.
At section.
All right. Well, that's all we got this week. We'll tune in next week. Thank you.